Welcome to Cybersecurity Awareness TV, episode number 429, recorded April 29th, 2023. My name is Mack Jackson Jr. I am your cybersecurity researcher and consultant. If this is the first time you have seen our show today, we on Cybersecurity Awareness TV provide cybersecurity news, and we are dedicated to bring information to you regarding cyber threats and what you can do to protect yourself from the fastest growing crimes of the 21st century. I'd like to thank everybody who's been a part of our show and been patriots of our show here on WWDBTV and allowing us to present to you information on cyber threats and what's going on in the community and nationally around the world. If you'd like to find out more information about my show, you can find me at MackJacksonJr.com. That's MackJacksonJR.com, MackJacksonJR.com. If you'd like to find out more about how to help your company protect itself from cyber threats, you could do that by going to my company at Vanderson Cyber Group. That's VandersonCyberGroup.com, folks. And on social media, as we say always, remember to share, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Let the algorithms know that we are out there and we are presenting information to you to protect you from cyber threats. If you'd like to be a sponsor of our show, folks, you can also do that by sending an email to sponsors@MackJacksonJr.com, and our representative will make sure that you have the best programs available for your message out to our audience. In today's episode 1, we're talking about the cyber news. We're talking about the evolving cyber threats around the world. And boy, there are lots of them happening this week. Segment 2 is the FBI news files. In the FBI files, we're talking about a new hacking technique, folks, called juice jacking. That's right, folks, juice jacking. Stay tuned for that. If you travel, it's something you should know. In our third segment, like we do every week, we talk about cybersecurity tips that you could use to protect yourself from cyber threats. In our first segment, cybersecurity news, the evolving landscape of cybersecurity. The Joint Security Operations Center, that's the Joint Security Operations Center, noted as JSOC in Brooklyn, New York, is a unique hub for the creation of a cybersecurity SOC, Security Operations Center. They were established in a partnership with governmental agencies, private sector organizations, and academic institutions, and that the JSOC is dedicated to enhance cybersecurity measures and mitigate cyber threats, using state-of-the-art facilities and a cutting-edge technologies to enable real-time monitoring, detection, and response to potential cyber attacks. New York City Governor, back in February of 2022, Kathy Hochul, created the Joint Security Operations Center in New York, in the boroughs of Brooklyn, to serve as a nerve center for the local area and state and local governments to work together and collaborate on collecting vital information and responding to and sharing information related to cyber threats. Now, what sets the JSOC from other SOCs, Security Operations Centers, in New York, is that they're using a collaboration effort that's focusing on information sharing and the commitment to enforce cybersecurity policy procedures across the state. The center right now, the center right now is better equipped for this type of operation because they have facilities from within. Now, this is something that other locations around the country are also looking at as well, here in Nevada and across the country. We have a news clip for you we'd like to show you to emphasize this, coming to us from Fox News New York.
So we're talking about this. New York, it has launched a major new effort to combat threats to cybersecurity. This is happening right here in the city.
Good day, wake up, banker. You have to get up pretty early in the morning to fool Dan Bowens. He's got an exclusive look inside. What's going on, Dan?
Rosanna and Bianca, absolutely right. A graduation ceremony like no other took place in New York this week. It was the first class of recruits from New York's Cyber Academy, a first-of-its-kind program anywhere in this country. Think of it like a digital police academy, and with billions of threats every week, these new cybersecurity teams will have plenty of work here in the city. What is the importance of the job right now?
I think the biggest thing that we're focused on is making quality of life, making the city better.
Matt Frazier is New York City's Chief Technology Officer.
Tech is the cornerstone of almost every process that we have.
In a modern world, nearly everything is automated, from street lights to water coming from the tap. Fraser's job is to protect it all from hackers.
There's systems that regulate how the water is cleaned and treated. A cybersecurity event can impact that and can contaminate drinking water.
Fox 5 given exclusive access inside the Joint Security Operations Center in the city, where the NYPD, State Police, Port Authority, and the FBI have teams working, including former President Trump's trip to the city.
In New York, you got to understand that the threat landscape is never calm, right? So we always run at an elevated level. So events like this makes us go on higher alert.
Late last year, several high-profile cyber attacks caused serious disruptions locally. 3 Brooklyn hospitals and the Metropolitan Opera all breached, paralyzing computer systems. And on Long Island, a ransomware attack in Suffolk County crippled government agencies. Employees there forced to resort to old fax machines and paper reports because email systems went down. There's real-world applications, and sometimes things come out of nowhere.
You just never know when something could become cybersecurity related.
And says Kelly Mohan, Chief Information Security Officer with Cyber Command, as many as 90 billion warnings come in every week.
You have to whittle down into cyber investigations, about 50 or so per week.
Something as small as a password error to larger scale incidents like cyber thieves trying to overwhelm a department website.
That requires a sizable amount of automation and really good team here.
And that is why the Adams administration established the first of its kind anywhere in the U.S. Cyber Academy. 21 recruits now, with more in the pipeline, trained and certified to work digital security incidents, a line of work more in demand now than ever.
But we want to make sure that we continue to feed the pipeline, so as we have resources that retire or folks that move out, that we continuously build talent so that we can keep these jobs and these positions filled. Throughout their journey, they may find themselves in different places, but they will all be focused on the mission of keeping New York City safe.
And you can see in that photo, the graduates come from a really diverse mix of backgrounds and varying ages. They all represent different city agencies, everything from city libraries to the police department. Mayor Adams described them as guardians building a pipeline of cyber expertise, and they were all recommended by their individual department heads. Smart people.
It's really fascinating because there's like black hats, white hats, gray hats that work in both sides of it.
Just trying to get in there and make sure, you know, don't steal the password, don't do this, don't do that. So good to
all I want to know is, am I going to have to reboot? Because if I got to reboot and get on my hands and knees, pull out every plug in the back of the TV,
listen, you can go to.
I don't have time for this.
NYPD is going to hear it.
As many courses as you go to, Control-Alt-Delete might still be the best way.
And reboot. Reboot it. Before we come over, you got to reboot. Anyway,
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Folks, the JSOC emphasizes collecting and demystifying cybersecurity threats by providing threat intelligence, allowing security experts to identify and neutralize potential threats proactively. Furthermore, the center addresses the growing need for skilled cybersecurity professionals through training and educational programs such as internships, workshops, and conferences. As a critical hub of cybersecurity research, collaboration, and innovation, the Joint Security Operations Center is essential in strengthening the nation's digital resilience and safeguarding critical assets in an increasing interconnecting world. Following success of the Brooklyn Joint Security Operations Center, plans are on their way to establish a nationwide centers, such as the ones in New York. These new JSOCs will foster in collaborating between the government agencies and private sectors and the academia in combating cyber threats more efficiently. And it's happening now, but we're talking about growing it where it becomes more of a collaboration and also making it international, collaborating with other countries as well. The expansion network of these JOCs will enable real-time coordination of information sharing, strengthens the nation's digital resistance, and helping foster and booster more protection when it comes to cyber threats. Our next story comes to us from Microsoft. Microsoft is a cutting leading edge in artificial intelligence applications, and the latest offering, Copilot. Software Copilot by Microsoft aims to be a revolutionary version to help protect against cybersecurity. In the time of the cyber threats, an increasingly sophisticated version of Microsoft Security utilizing AI to predict and plan and help cybersecurity experts find out if there's a cyber threat aloof in a networking system. It will help the team prevent and protect and mitigate these types of cyber threats. The Copilot innovation has a chat box type of tool, right? And its tool is used to collaborating with other cybersecurity professionals around the nation as well as within the organization to look at patterns, using AI to predict patterns and learn the algorithms that hackers use to attack certain networks. This Copilot will help analysts with a vast amount of information in detecting, prevention, and mitigating. After the aftermath of certain cyber attacks, this Copilot AI has the capability of recovering, identifying systems, and suggesting appropriate remediation techniques. For more information on this, let's go to a story from Bloomberg Technology.
Let's start with the rationale. You know, Microsoft's done a lot with AI in a matter of weeks. Why was the security tool important?
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's great, and we are really excited about our announcement this morning. To understand why we launched Security Copilot, we have to go back to the threat landscape. It's been an incredibly challenging few years for security. We're seeing attacks, password attacks, increase to 1287 from just 567 2 years back. It takes less than 2 hours now from when a user clicks on a phishing link for an attacker to get full access to their private data, their inbox. And we're facing a global talent shortage of 3.4 million jobs. So the odds are not in the favor of defenders today. It's an asymmetric war. And what Security Copilot enables us, it empowers defenders to defend at the speed and scale of AI.
Vasu, Microsoft's been working in cyber and security software for some time. Does the relationship with OpenAI and Security Copilot actually mark a technological advancement, or is this just a marketing exercise for your security offerings?
It does absolutely mark a technology advancement, and it really brings two worlds together and creates this network effect. What Security Copilot does is it builds on the OpenAI large language model, the GPT-4 innovations from OpenAI, which are groundbreaking. And then it builds on top of it with a cyber-specific model from Microsoft, which is informed by Microsoft's global threat intelligence, 65 trillion signals, and very unique cyber skills like threat hunting, finding threats, investigation, reverse engineering. So it brings these two technologies together in a way that has never been done before. And it is absolutely the first and only model in a generative AI technology of its kind.
Vasu, in late January, a headline crossed the Bloomberg terminal that Microsoft had passed $20 billion in sales for its security platforms and offerings over the past year. How does this new AI-powered tool boost sales? Can you put a number on it?
Today, Microsoft protects 860,000 customers across the world, and we are incredibly proud of that. Customers are choosing Microsoft in their journeys, and what Security Copilot does is it builds on it. It works with our end-to-end security tooling, which, by the way, we absolutely believe is necessary. You have to lock all doors and all windows to have a safe house, and that's our approach. And it builds on this because it simplifies security for all defenders everywhere. It catches what others miss because it's able to give you this entire signal graph, the attack kill chain, and it helps you address the talent shortage by augmenting your teams with skills that they may not have. So we look upon it as a best of all worlds to take us to the next era of security.
With the launch of Copilot from Microsoft, they continue to demonstrate the dynamics of using AI technologies to better cybersecurity procedures within the organization. These cyber threats are all evolving. Taking a Copilot by Microsoft will be an indispensable enforcement of digital resilience, that is, for organizations and safeguarding them from cyber attacks and protecting their critical data. We have another story I'd like to share with you coming from NBC 12 News out of Richmond, Virginia.
Counts. Give us just 2 minutes to show you why you need to. A new study out tonight from a cybersecurity group shows that some criminals are cracking passwords in less than 5 minutes. That's all they need. As Raya Bryant is on your side tonight with information on how to better protect yourself.
95% of cyber attacks are due to human error, and nowadays everything requires a login and passcode. No matter how strong you make it, it's still at risk for hackers to get into.
That we as consumers have to take care of our digital identities online ourselves.
Alex Netty is CEO and co-founder of Hive Systems. The cybersecurity company just released their 2023 password table that describes how easy it could be for hackers to break into your accounts. In 2020, a simple 8-character passcode would take hours to crack. 3 years later, they're doing it in 5 minutes.
And we've seen the times that were applicable in 2020 get halved and sometimes even more here in 2023. That shows the rapid pace of computing power that's being developed. And that's one part of the problem.
The second part of the problem is how those websites and companies store and encrypt your passwords.
So as the computing power is going up, the encryption is still staying the same. That's a huge problem. There are better encryption methods available the websites can use. They're just not using it. And that's why we as consumers have to take this power back into our hands and set those strong, secure passwords ourselves.
The use of artificial intelligence has played a large role for hackers to brute force your account. That's when hackers use computers to randomly generate what your password could be.
The biggest vulnerability and risk to you as a person is reusing passwords or using some sort of passcode methodology.
Like putting certain keywords in front of phrases, that makes brute forcing your account easier.
So if you see your password on here and it says that that time is only 2 weeks, that is the worst case scenario for a hacker. With more money and more computing power over time, these times have continued to come down, which means that that password may be hackable instantaneously just next year.
Netty says the best way you can protect yourself is using a 2-step authentication process. That's a tool that requires a multi-step process in order to log in. Or using passcode managers. Those are companies that secure your passwords for you.
So take the time to protect yourself. Go through and identify and inventory all of your online accounts and make sure they're secure.
On your side, Azariah Bryant, NBC 12.
And folks, our next story comes to us from Cyber News AI Joe. AI Joe, yes, AI Joe this week will give us stories regarding the ransomware attacks that affected several companies across our country this month, including NCR, National Cash Register Company, and US-based companies like CommScope, healthcare providers such as Shield Healthcare Group, and multinational corporations in banking industries such as ICICI. Folks, it's been a really crazy week, and there's also, from the story, folks, you're going to also hear about a lawsuit, one of the first lawsuits coming in to OpenAI chat for ChatGPT. Definitely, folks, these are stories that happened this week. Take a look at this report coming to us from Cyber News.
Hi, I am Joe, your AI-generated newscaster, and here are the most important cyber world news from the last week, recapped in just several minutes. Let's start from NCR, a US software giant which specializes in technology and payment platforms for the restaurant industry. Its Aloga point-of-sale system fell to a ransomware attack, which affected some of its cloud-based systems. While the restaurants still retained the capability to serve their customers, the ransomware had the most impact on management systems. An infamous hacker group, Black Cat, took credit for the attack, but later removed their message. So, the real perpetrator remains unknown. Another US company to sustain a ransomware attack was CommScope, a US IT infrastructure and communication provider. Hackers accessed its systems in late March and stole a trove of data, including invoices, bank documents, and employee passport copies. The hack was claimed by Vice Society, a well-known gang of cybercriminals. They posted the links to the data on the dark web, asking for a ransom. CommScope confirmed the attack just recently and said they started an investigation into the event. No customer data was stolen, the company said. Another major hacking story did not end as well in this regard. Shields Healthcare Group, a US medical service provider, said it sustained a major data breach resulting in the information about over 2.3 million people getting stolen. The data includes the names, ID numbers, and driver's license numbers of the customers. The breach may lead to a massive number of cases of identity fraud, which is why the company said it would provide all customers credit monitoring and identity theft protection services for 2 years after the attack. data of millions of customers, as well as other sensitive documents, were also leaked by ICICI, a major Indian bank. A huge data breach was discovered by Cyber News research team in February. Over 3.6 million documents, many of them containing customers' data, were posted on a misconfigured cloud storage which was publicly accessible. The team contacted the bank, and by March 30 the issue was fixed. When my colleagues at Cyber News tried to obtain the bank's commentary regarding the issue, they were politely redirected to an inactive email address. Not nice, ICICI. It remains unknown if any malicious actors found access to the data while it was public, and we can only hope that this case will not lead to severe consequences for millions of Indian citizens. And now for something completely different. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, was issued a cease and desist letter by Alexander Hanf, an influencer and privacy advocate, also known as that privacy guy. Turned out that when prompted, ChatGPT would start falsely claiming that Hanf is dead, in an example of a glitch widely known as an AI hallucination. The cease and desist letter is based on the fact that such information is inaccurate, defamatory, and harmful. Large language models, such as ChatGPT, are known for storing large amounts of data in a complex and interconnected manner, which makes it nearly impossible to remove or modify something in a fast and easy manner. This means that if the court rules in Hanf's favor, OpenAI will have to shut down the entire ChatGPT to remove the information about one man. While on the surface the case may seem petty, it plays into larger concerns about the rise of artificial intelligence. There were many calls and attempts to limit their development over an alleged danger to humanity, and Hanf's lawsuit, most likely, is prompted by that first and foremost. However, even if all the chatbots go down, one AI will still remain. That is going to be me, AI Joe, your most reliable artificially generated newscaster. Please check out our channel for more videos on all things cyber, and subscribe if you like what you find there. See you in the next one.
Folks, criminals are always looking for ways to exploit and find areas that they can get your information, your data. We must stay proactive in all that we do. And one of the best ways to do this is to be aware, folks. It takes all of us to share information that we have learned on shows like mine and others around the country, and to let other people know. Prevention, a little ounce of it, is a pound of cure, as the old-fashioned statement goes. We'll be right back after this message. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Judy Morio. I invite you to watch my show, What's Your Story with Judy Morio on WWDBTV, where I interview celebrities, doctors, authors, professional speakers, and just plain folks like you and me. So watch my show, and also watch some of the other great shows that we have here on WWDBTV. And you can also find us on Roku.
Hi everybody, Aaron Phillips here, inviting you to join me every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. right here on Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV on my show, Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. I bring to you the movers and shakers of Las Vegas and really all around the world. It's also fun, entertaining, silly, goofy, informative, everything you'd want to be entertained by on a Saturday, except no politics, no religion. As I said, it's designed to be a fun show. Remember, that's every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, right here, Aaron's Hour, Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV.
Hey folks, welcome back to Cybersecurity Awareness TV. I'm your host, Mack Jackson Jr. In this segment, we're talking about the FBI Files Report. Folks, there is a new type of hacking setup that bad guys are utilizing. And the term now that the media has given it, and it's called juice jacking. Juice jacking, folks, is on the rise and is a cybersecurity threat that the FBI has identified to be a significant concern, particularly in public spaces like airports. The malicious practice involves hackers exploiting the USB charging stations and stealing sensitive information from unsuspecting users and infecting their devices with malware. That's right. You would think you're going to wait for a plane at the airport and your phone battery's dying. You have a 30-minute wait till your flight leaves, so you plug it in to charge your phone. Meaning you plug it into the charger, USB charger that's at the airport. Not the regular power stations where you can have your own device to plug into the wall. No, I'm speaking of the USB charging ports that you see at the airports. Hackers have found a way that they can plug their malicious device into one of these ports, and it can sniff out other particular devices along the power line, the USB power line, folks. And what it's looking for is looking for devices that will transmit data. In other words, you have a USB cable that can transmit data as well as power. Then you can possibly have malware sent from the hacker's machine, either a laptop, desktop, or phone, to your device using the USB power lines. So it's important, folks, if you are charging your phones, to make sure that you do not use these type of devices, such as the power cables, to transmit data. Now, it can be confusing of what kind of cable is power, what kind of cable is data, and which one should you use. But we have some recommendations for that as well. As travelers are increasingly relying on mobile devices and portable devices for personal and professional use, it is mandatory that you take precautions when charging your devices at these particular charging stations. Cybercriminals have recognized the opportunities and have targeted the public USB charging stations to carry out this juice jacking type of attack. When users are connected to this device, they can compromise the charging ports, and attackers can have access to your data and install malware. So one of the things that we recommend, have your own personal charger, folks. That's the most logical way, is to have your own personal charger device that you are utilizing, and you put it within the 110 plug. It's that simple. Second, have your own battery backup. You may have a battery pack that you can also buy, and it is an external battery that you can charge and have it available to you and use it to charge your phone or your devices. These devices now are becoming smaller and smaller, and I've seen some that are small enough to actually charge your laptop as well. That's the first thing you should do. And of course, as always, make sure you have updated software at all your portable devices, like your laptop, your desktops. Make sure you have the latest updates from the manufacturer. These are things that can protect you from it. I'd like to continue this with a story we have for you of this particular incident called juice jacking by ABC 7 News out of Chicago.
These charging stations are found at airports like RDUs, shopping malls, and even hotels. And while these charging stations are convenient when your cell phone or electronic device needs a charge, they may also be loaded with malware. This scam is known as juice jacking. When your phone or iPad needs juice or charge, the FBI said if you plug your device into a public charging station that is loaded with malware, it may lock your electronic device or send private information such as passwords, addresses, banking information, or even a full backup of your phone to criminals. Once in the wrong hands, scammers can use that information to access online accounts or sell it. Here is the latest tweet from the FBI stating in part, bad actors have figured out ways to use public USB ports to introduce malware and monitoring software onto devices. Carry your own charger and USB cord and use an electrical outlet instead. Here are more troubleshooter takeaways to protect yourself from becoming a juice jacking victim. Bring a portable charger or external battery. Also carry a charging-only cable, which prevents data from sending or receiving while charging from a trusted supplier. And never plug your device into cables already there, as authorities warn in some cases, criminals left those cables to trick you. And besides juice jacking, remember to never use public Wi-Fi in places like airports and busy areas, as that is just another way cybercriminals can target you. I'm troubleshooter Diane Wilson, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
So folks, now we have another term, juice jacking. Again, it's on the rise and it's happening a lot. The FBI wants everybody to know to stay cautious, stay alert, stay cyber woke regarding these types of attacks that are coming in from these malicious cybersecurity evildoers, if you would, and protect yourself in your phone. To continue this, I want to present you another story that we found in our research too that emphasizes this type of juice jacking. You should share with your friends and people you know who are traveling. This report comes in from News 12 out of Arizona.
Tonight, a warning from the FBI and FCC about something called juice jacking. Both agencies tell people to avoid using public phone charging stations because hackers are now using them to access your device.
Team 12's Chase Golightly spoke with cybersecurity experts about this. And Chase, it doesn't seem like it takes long for them to get your info.
Mark Caribe, 2 minutes is all they need. It's called juice jacking, and it's public ports like this that make it possible. Whether you're in a hotel room or waiting to catch your flight, these convenient phone charging stations come in handy when your battery is running low. But the FBI and FCC are warning people, while it might charge your phone, it could also drain your bank account.
It's a very normal function, so therefore it can be very easy for hackers.
Hackers hijacking people's phones or tablets who use these public ports by loading malware into them, able to steal your passwords, credit card information, and whatever else you have on your device.
And that could be motive for taking data.
Forensics expert Michelle Bush says it doesn't take much.
It could take 2 minutes to download pertinent information on somebody's device.
If you plug into a public USB port and this notification pops up asking you to trust this device, immediately disconnect your phone. But sometimes it takes less than that to get hacked.
Even just unlocking your phone.
And some phones are easier to get into than others.
Android devices are historically more prone and vulnerable to security threats because they're open source.
You also want to look out for random charging cables being left out.
Being aware of what type of cable you're plugging into your phone will determine what kind of access you're giving somebody.
Bush says if your phone needs charging, use outlets instead. Otherwise, it's best to just use what battery you have left. So the next time you're heading out of town, you may want to bring your own portable charger to prevent this from happening to you. We're in Phoenix. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
So, folks, as you can see, juice jacking and all these types of cyber crimes that criminals come up with, they're always looking for ways to get our data because they spend time in their research of vulnerabilities that the public, our society, can be susceptible to. We must inform our fellow mankind in our society of ways that these hackers are trying to do and protect ourselves from this type of attacks. And the best way we can do it is listen to our show here at Cybersecurity Awareness TV and tell a friend. We'll be right back after these messages. Hello folks, this is Mack Jackson Jr. from Vanderson Cyber Group. The problem with businesses today is that they are affected by cyber attacks from around the world, but companies are not sure of what to do. Normally, they are reactive instead of proactive. But folks, cyber attacks can affect your bottom line and will affect you financially, legally, and your business reputation. Here at Vanderson Cyber Group, we can help you develop a policy by training your employees on what to do if they are involved in a cyber attack and how to mitigate it and fight against it. Folks, we call it here #StayCyberWoke. And that's Vanderson Cyber Group here in Las Vegas and around the world. You can reach me, folks, at VandersonCyberGroup.com or my website, MackJacksonJr.com as well. Here locally, 702-868-0808. Give us a call today, folks. We must fight back. Hey folks, welcome back to Cybersecurity Awareness TV. I'm your host, Mack Jackson Jr. And in this segment, like we do every week, we talk about tips to protect your business and business productivity. Again, folks, our episodes today, we talked about the different types of cyber threats that attackers are trying to do to take data from your company and sell it on the dark net. So you're thinking, what can I do to protect myself? Well, folks, there's things that you can do. And one, it is protecting your passwords. So we talked about this countless times in the show and really want to emphasize the point. Protecting your password, folks, is absolutely premium. You must have a way to protect your information before it can be attacked by cyber attackers. One of the best ways to do this is by making sure that you have a password that is over 15 characters long, right? Making sure you have at least 15 character password will make it harder for cyber hackers to find it and compromise your data. Having a password and having it changed on a quarterly basis would be great also. But to do that is very daunting, and I see the emails come in and phone calls from my clients all the time, how much of a chore it is to change your password every quarter, especially when you have over 150 different sites to manage. Having a password manager, folks, again, is the best way to do that. Having a password manager, there's several of them out there. You could definitely find one that can help you out with your business. Everything from Keeper to Password One to LastPass, anything is better than having nothing. And also, do not use the browser password manager that comes with your computer systems, folks. Don't use the Chrome browsers or the ones from Microsoft as well. Have a third-party browser that you could use. It's best to have it that way because those companies will concentrate only on the password management versus other companies that have so many other things to manage. They're not putting as much time in like these other third-party companies. Those are just some of the first steps you can do to protect yourselves, folks, from these types of hackers that are out there. Also, make sure that you have your employees train folks in cybersecurity awareness education. That is the next step. Having them trained and have policies and procedures put in for your operations to protect your company, your business. The best way to do that is contact my company, Vanderson Cyber Group, folks. That's at vandersoncybergroup.com, vandersoncybergroup.com, folks.com. You can have training for your employees and policies created so you can protect your business and mitigate the threats of cyber breaches. Folks, that's all we have for you this week. We thank you again for joining us, and we want you to, again, share this information you've seen in our show with family and friends. And folks, hashtag stay cyberwoke. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
you